All right, so this time we're gonna do Dutch braids. So those are like those large kind of rosette braids that you see on the dressage horses. Sometimes eventers do them this way too, just for dressage. These are gonna be quite a bit bigger. So typically you have like 8 to 10 braids going down the neck. So you can imagine how thick that is. So same thing, section off some hair. You can use quick braid if you want, or you can have the Maine be wet, whichever. And you're gonna braid it down like normal. The only thing is that I keep mine a little bit loose at the top. So instead of braiding it super tight at the top, I leave it a little bit loose because I feel like it makes the rosette look better. And then once you've done those first couple strands, then you can continue like normal all the way down and make it just as tight as you normally would. You can see the top is loose. And you can band off the bottom. And then we'll get our thread. All right, so once you have banded all the way down, then you can actually start to pop the Dutch braids up. Okay, so you use your plastic little sewing needle and wax thread, and I'll have the thread linked in the post because I like this wax thread. Okay, so I usually take the wax thread and it's like, I don't know, I think I started with like 1.5 feet long, and then I just keep cutting to make them all the same length. And I actually leave at least one every time after I braid so I don't have to remeasure, and I can just cut more to be the same size. So when you run it through the needle, you make sure it's pretty even. Okay, it doesn't have to be perfect, but relatively even. And then I start by taking the end of the needle and above the rubber band, so that you can put it through the rubber band, you start poking the needle down. So when you poke it down, you want to make sure that it gets through the band, okay, which it has. I can see that it's gone past the band just because it makes it stick a little better. And then I usually pull it until there's just like 1/2 inch showing, if that, okay? Then you flip it up straight. Make sure that you don't go through this loose part at the bottom, okay? We want the loose part there because it'll look pretty, but it's not gonna hold if you put the thread and needle through there. So you need to put it through up here where it's a little bit tighter, okay? So you pull it through once, fold it down, go back through, and then super easy, you just continue going back and forth for a couple times. I probably go back and forth like 3 times or so, but if you have a horse who really doesn't like to keep their braids in, maybe a couple more times it would be good, okay? And then you've got this nice little rosette braid. You can see it's like scalloped on the edges, okay? And then all you have to do is cut the thread, and you can cut it pretty far down so you don't see the edges of it. It blends in with the mane nicely, okay? And then next I'll show you what I do with the gel and hairspray to really keep everything in. All right, so for any type of braids, whether you're doing the Dutch braids, adventure braids, I like to use these 2 products at the end, okay? It's just regular hair gel and regular hairspray. Doesn't really matter what brand. I like this because it's affordable and I feel like it works really well. So the first thing I do is, doesn't require a lot, take a tiny bit of hair gel. Okay, so not very much. And I just rub it on top of the braid just to kind of keep all those little flyaways down. Okay, and I'll do that for the whole mane, obviously, when the entire mane is braided. Okay, and I do find that that really helps to keep flyaways in place. And then the other thing too, you should be careful because if your horse doesn't like sprays, this could be loud right behind their ears. But just take your hairspray and add a little bit of hairspray on there. And that again will help keep the flyaways in and keep everything in place.